I have the TOPS Steel Eagle 105. There are other versions of the Steel Eagle. There's several larger versions that TOPS makes, but this is kind of like the smaller one, similar to like an SE4, and it's about just a little over like 9 inches long. I think it's about 9 3/4 overall. Just an awesome little kind of medium-size survival knife, a utility knife, and good for like kind of small bushcraft activities. It has, just kind of the plain edge on this model. Then it has some of these awesome TOPS serrations, and they're really just ragged, jagged, mean serrations, and they're not necessarily meant to just straight up saw through anything. Now I know it would probably be good for like ripping through stuff, like heavier materials like certain metals and lighter metals like a sheet metal. You could probably rip through pretty easy, and it's good for mainly good for notching, like for traps and for like making shelters and things like that, for notches on the lanyard I have set up here is good for 2 fingers on there when I'm kind of working on smaller tasks. Instead of just having the 1 finger, I like having the 2 fingers in there like that. So what I'm going to do is just kind of show kind of how it works with just kind of this older piece of wood, kind of some slicing and chopping, show how the notching works. So for the size, it's a pretty good little chopping knife, and then good for scraping. So yeah, pretty awesome with that. Pretty good beefy handle for the size of the knife. That's one thing I definitely noticed. And then, like I said, the serrations are they're pretty nasty. Let's see here. That did not take long at all. I'm going to try some light batoning work with the Steel Eagle and just see how it handles some extra stress. Pretty awesome. So here is a tabletop closer look at the TOPS Steel Eagle 105 HP, and I'm going to go ahead and show the certificate of authenticity. All TOPS knives should come with something very similar to this, with care instructions on the back. They used to have it where the care instructions were a separate sheet. Now they put it on the back. So here is the Steel Eagle and its Kydex sheath. It has a rotating metal belt clip, and it actually works on molly webbing. It has to be, let's see, the width of this clip is close to 1.5 inches, so it's got to be some sort of wider webbing. I actually slide the clip in to my webbing over here on my modular assault vest by Tactical Tailor, and I wear it at an angle. It's easy to grab. So that's something that can be done. Like I said, it's not going to fit the smaller webbing, but on some of the larger strips you can definitely get it in there. But awesome, good for belts and lashing on your gear, clipping on your gear. So that's just a look at the back of the Kydex sheath. Hard to see a lot of the front because I have a Voodoo Tactical pistol magazine pouch here, and I just have a Gerber multi-tool in here. I'm not sure what model it is. I had hand painted it in sort of an A-TACS FG pattern. I was keeping a small fire starting kind of survival kit in there, but I just I swapped that out for the multi-tool multiplier because I like easy quick access on my my rig there when I'm out. So that's pretty much how the sheath is. Nice, just awesome Kydex sheath. Love these rotating the clips like that, the swivel clip. Just an awesome design, very sturdy. So even if you get caught on something, it's not going to bend the mess out of it like I've even done that on a K-bar metal clip on the sheath. But these are awesome, very sturdy, and as most people do know, made in the USA. Sheath, knife, all of it. So, but that's just something that I did in addition, is I added the pistol magazine carrier. Just an awesome little thing to do. It is zip tied on there, so if you didn't notice. And so yeah, just a really good solid sheath. So now down to the knife. Actually, before I pull it out, this is a awesome Spartan bead from Karboffos. I can put his information down in the description box. And this is German silver. Pretty awesome little Spartan helm. You can even see the little slash on the eyepiece there, on the helmet, like a little Leonidas face there. So pretty awesome for my channel. But anyway, here is the knife itself. Steel Eagle 105. I have definitely put this through some usage, and man, it was awesome. This is definitely similar to a lot of the Essie knives out there, some of the smaller Becker knives, but man, this knife really performs well. But I'm going to go ahead and give some of the specifications before I get too much further in it. It is, let's see, the blade is pretty much a 5-inch blade right there. And overall, let's take a look at it. It's about 9.5 inches overall. So just a good size knife. I mean, I have a decently sized hand, and the linen micarta handle fits well in my hand here. And I have to say, I was like wondering if I was going to need to modify this grip when I bought this knife. Not at all. This is super, super comfortable. And then if you don't know much about micarta, it actually can grip better when wet. So it's actually some sweat from my hand that has kind of broken in the grips there, darkens it, so adds a little flavor, adds a little color to it. But 1095 carbon steel, so holds an excellent edge, but just like any carbon steel, if you don't maintain it, it will rust. And then has the saw back up here, so that's, you know, the saw. In fact, I probably need to maintain my saw back a little better, because I do see some spots of rust, so that needs to be maintained on these knives. And the blade, so just a little bit of light oil, not a big deal, and then, you know, just keeping your knife blade clean in between trips and things, pretty imperative. But yeah, just a good solid overall knife, good size, very, very comfortable. Man, I have to say, I mean, really, like comfort, I go 10 out of 10. Not an issue. I mean, the width is good. The actual blade, since it is just a single piece of steel full tang, is 3/16 inch. So definitely a good size, and good weight to it. Very well balanced knife in the hand, and and with that carbon steel, maintains a super, super sharp edge. The sawback is mean and aggressive, and the black traction coating has held up pretty good so far. Pretty awesome, just like any Tops knife that I've owned, which I do own several, and I use them regularly. And this is no exception to another awesome blade, and just a really good, simple design. There are larger versions of the Steel Eagle. I decided to go with the smaller, kind of mid-sized version, because the Tops Armageddon is a knife that I have and I love, and it's much, much larger than this knife, but this is a superb blade in the hand. But that is pretty much all I've got on that, so I kindly thank you for watching. This is Mr. Leonidas signing out, and you have a good night.